We're gold.
Okay, so make sure to know all the buzzwords for every nerve injury. So like surgical neck, axillary nerve, humeral shaft, orbital groove, radial nerve, and distal humeral median.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, so you just have to know the buzzwords for the nerve injuries. So there's a specific one for each nerve. So axillary is surgical neck, radial is radial groove or humeral shaft, and median is distal humerus.
Thank you.
And then now nursemaid elbow damages the annular ligament. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then I'm gonna skip through like the innervations and actions, but you have to know all of them for your practical. If you see the question about some guy lifting heavy weights and all of a sudden you can't flex his arm, then stop by the 20. Brachialis is the most powerful flexor of the arm. Okay. Let's see. So if you have an injury at the radial groove, you will still have tricep extension. But if it's at a point above the radial groove, you will not have tricep extension. And just know wrist drop for radial nerve damage. Now, and just know that the ulnar nerve is closest to the medial epicondyle. Ulnar nerve closest to medial epicondyle. Just know cephalic is lateral, basilic is medial. Okay, just know this space, know the boundaries, and then what's in it. So the superior and then the cubital fossa. So the boundaries and what's in it. So you have two, superior, superficial, and deep. Okay. And that was it. Just know median cubital vein. Venipuncture can damage your median nerve. Then whatever this guy's doing, if you see this picture, the nerve that's likely to be damaged is the median nerve. And then for radiology, they like the coronoid process and the olecranon process. And I think that's it. Any questions?
Can you repeat coronoid process?
Coronoid and olecranon. Okay. So brachial plexus is next.
Please, Jesus.
Okay. So basically, this entire lecture, you have to know what comes out of what in the brachial plexus. So that's the first thing you start off with. And then after that, let's see. You also have to know the roots for each one. So know the roots for every nerve. And then the money is this innovation. So if you know the sensory innovation, you know the answer, because that's how they give it away. So they'll describe like the numbness, and from that numbness you can tell what's damaged. So make sure you know the cutaneous innervation. Okay, and then That's a second question. No. This one. Upper trunk or Duchenne, and just be able to recognize the waiter's tip. And then the punky is the lower trunk, and just know its claw hand. And then this was the thing I was talking about for the cutaneous inhibition. Oh, and this is just a summary, but yeah. Any questions about this lecture? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
I'll send you all the
after
photos.
this, I'll show you a video where that I used to run all these muscles. But I'm just gonna start. Just know that the lunate is most commonly dislocated and the scaphoid is most commonly fractured. Lunate dislocation, scaphoid fracture. Okay, and then for carpal tunnel, just know that it's 9 tendons and 1 nerve that passes through it. Okay, it's the mnemonic for flexors and extensors are elegant ladies play tennis. So elegant extensors, ladies lateral epicondyle, and then tennis for tennis elbow.
Can you repeat that, please?
Elegant ladies play tennis. Okay, and then the other one is fat men play golf. Fat for flexors, men for medial epicondyle, and then golf elbow. Fat men play golf. Anyone need me to repeat that?
Yeah, can you repeat them? What they mean?
Fat men play golf.
Okay, that's for flexors,
Elegant ladies play tennis.
and that's for extensors.
Yeah, elegant ladies are extensors. Okay. So superficial attaches to the medial epicondyle, but the deep doesn't. So these do not attach to the medial epicondyle. Oh, the most powerful, what is it? The most powerful supinator is your biceps brachii. And brachioradialis is the only flexor muscle innervated by the radial nerve. The only flexor muscle innervated by the radial nerve. And then this is another space you have to know the borders and then know the content. And it's again just radial artery for content. Okay, ulnaris brevis is the most superficial muscle of your palm. They like this thing, the recurrent branch of the median nerve innervates your thenaurs. So yeah, so just know that. They like the recurrent branch of the median nerve. Thenaurs.
Thenars.
And then this one. This is part of your thenar, but it's not innervated by your recurrent median nerve. and it does this.
Opposition.
No, wait, no, that's, it does this. Okay, it does
Oh.
this.
Wait, what is it?
Okay. And then your hypothenar is deep ulnar.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, hypothenar, this part is deep ulnar. Okay. Any more repeating? Okay. They like this one too because it's the weird one. Number 1 and 2, median nerve. 3 and 4, ulnar nerve. And these are your bicep muscles. Okay, and just no pads and dabs. So palmar at A deduction, dab, dorsal A B deduction. And they're both innervated by ulnar. Okay. Okay. Just know that the deep palmar arch and the superficial arch connect with each other. And that the radial artery gives off the deep, and the ulnar artery gives off the superficial. Yeah, deep and superficial arch anastomosize with each other. Radial gives off the deep, and ulnar gives off the superficial.
Mm.
Cool. Okay, just know that the ulnar nerve enters through the Gouillon's canal. Okay. Claw hand, ulnar nerve. Okay, medial epicondyle fracture damages your ulnar nerve. And don't forget, this is why the deep flexors are not affected with a medial epicondyle fracture. Right? Okay, and then like this thing that they keep talking about, but just know that the palmar cutaneous branch does not pass through the flexor retinaculum.
It does not pass through what, sorry?
The flexor retinaculum. Okay, supracondylar fracture damages your median nerve. Just know I need an addiction for that. Okay. So you need to know that the median nerve is most likely damaged during suicide attempts. Then they present with claw hand, so they're not able to oppose their thumbs. Okay, wrist drop or median nerve. What was this again? Oh yeah, dinner fork and the awkward fracture. So dinner fork is the more common fracture. So like you're falling and you try to grab your fall like that. That's this thing, the dinner fork. And then the Smith fracture is the uncoordinated fracture. Instead of catching yourself like this, you catch yourself like this. Scapula fracture will damage your radial artery. Hammy fracture will damage your ulnar nerve. And just remember by mnemonic, you should know this. Okay. So these, you definitely need to know. There's always a question on these. So no mallet finger and swan neck and wing ear. So make sure you know these three things. Okay. Make sure you know what they look like. This one, just know that it's a tendonitis and it affects your fourth finger. And then make sure you know these two. So know what they look like, herpetins and Bouchards. Okay. And this one, Dupuytren, is probably catoma fascia and aponeurosis. Okay. And make sure you know the carpals, they like this picture. And then know the lunate dislocations. So paralunate and lunate. Paralunate is a partial dislocation, and lunate dislocation is the full dislocation. And paralunate affects the capitates, and lunate affects the lunate. Lunate. Okay, I think that's it. Capitates. Capitates. Oh, and one more thing. Your pisiform is a sesamoid bone. Pisiform is a sesamoid bone. Sesamoid. Sesamoid.
Sesamoid bone.
Sesamoid?
Sesamoid bone.
Okay. Glycolysis. Any questions before I start this? Insulin is the only hormone that decreases blood glucose. And just know that there's two mechanisms to promote glycolysis. The first one is your directly activating enzyme, and the next one is you're making more enzyme. So the more rapid one is activating the enzyme. And the slower one is making more enzymes. Yeah. So, cool. The two ways to promote glycolysis. So you could either make more enzyme or activate enzymes that are already there. And the faster one is activating enzymes that are already there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, and you just have to know that I believe it's the one group 3 has the lowest Kn because your brain has first priority before glucose. Remember, the lower the Kn, the higher the affinity. So, makes sense. Okay.
Go back in my notes and highlight what he
I
highlights.
just remember group 3.
Go back in my notes and highlight what he highlights.
Okay. And then for the actual pathway, I didn't learn the entire thing, I only learned the regulated steps. And the regulated steps are hexokinase / glucokinase, then PFK, then after that is phosphoglycerate kinase, and then pyruvate kinase. So I just remember those 4 in order. And just remember, and you have to understand this concept, that whenever you block, let's say I block this enzyme, everything here will be decreased, while everything before it will increase. So everything after the enzyme will decrease, everything before it will increase.
Ah.
Make sure you understand that. Okay, hexokinase traps glucose in the cell. And just know this one, glyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase makes reducing equivalents. Okay, arsenate versus arsenite. Arsenite mimics a phosphate, and it acts on this step, glyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase. Arsenate. And what it does is that it mimics the phosphate, so you don't have ATP generation in the next step. So arsenate inhibits the formation of ATP. Then you have arsenite, which inhibits lipoic acid, and you'll learn about that tomorrow. So just remember those two for now. Arsenate versus arsenite. Guaranteed question on these two, or one of these two. Mimics a phosphate, mimics. Okay, and just know that this step, 3-phosphoglycerate kinase makes ATP. And it also creates 2,3-DPG.
Keno, can you scroll back a slide? Dr. Peterson told us the arsenate acts on that portion right there.
Yeah, but it acts on this step first. It acts on this step first. So glyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase is where arsenate acts on, and it affects the next step.
Thank you.
Oh. And then just know pyruvate kinase makes ATP. Okay. Any questions so far? Hold on. What does it say? Anaerobic glycolysis. Okay. So when you have no oxygen, you go through anaerobic glycolysis. And the function of anaerobic glycolysis is to repower glycolysis. Or, yeah. And it does that through lactate dehydrogenase. So lactate dehydrogenase remakes NAD+. Because if you have no oxygen, NADH is useless. Everyone get that? Okay. And then this is updated. Lactate returns into pyruvate. Lactate turns into pyruvate. This is updated, don't worry. Do you have this slide?
Yes.
Just know? Yeah, it's outdated. Lactate turns into pyruvate. Okay. So galactose and fructose enter glycolysis at different stages. Do you have to know that? Did he mention anything about this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see. So fructose enters at, what was it, glyceraldehyde or DHP step. And then galactose enters through, where was it again? Oh. Sorry. Oh, it just turns into glucose 1-phosphate for galactose. there. Insulin promotes glycolysis. Okay. So you have to understand the fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. So be careful, make sure you read the enzyme. If it says fructose 2,6 bisphosphate, it promotes glycolysis. But if it's fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase, it inhibits glycolysis. So make sure you take your time with the enzyme. And the fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase inactivates fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. Let us see. Try to look for the slide that explains it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go through glucagon and how it affects glycolysis. So glucagon and epinephrine, you can think of them as the same thing. And just know whenever you see epinephrine associated with cyclic AMP.
Associated with what?
Cyclic AMP.
Cyclic AMP.
Oh.
Just think of them as the same thing. So, did you have a cell signaling lecture yet? No. Oh, I might as well just teach it to you now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is what glucagon and epinephrine do. They activate a GS. That GS increases cyclic AMP. That cyclic AMP activates protein kinase A. And that protein kinase A phosphorylates stuff. Okay. And the reason why I'm telling you this is just remember that glucagon will phosphorylate stuff, while insulin will dephosphorylate stuff. So, because, let's see, glucagon will phosphorylate fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase, and that fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase will turn into PFK2. Does anybody need to read that? You need to know that PFK2 and fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase are the same enzyme. The only difference is whether or not it's phosphorylated or dephosphorylated. So if it's phosphorylated, it's PFK2. And that's no. Okay, it's phosphorylated, it's fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase. And that will decrease fructose 2,6 bisphosphate. And that inhibits glycolysis. Okay. Remember, this is epi and glucagon. Okay. And that's just the opposite for insulin. Any questions about this? Insulin. Okay, any questions before I move on? Okay. muscle does not have glucagon receptors, so it uses epinephrine instead. So it uses epinephrine to activate glycolysis, inhibit glycolysis.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Because muscle does not have receptors for glucagon, it uses epinephrine to inhibit glycolysis.
Alex. Mic is right. My microphone is right here.
Do you guys know about feed forward? So the more substrate you have, the more activation you have to power the enzyme. But the more products you have, the more you can inhibit the enzyme. So more substrates activates, more products inactivates. Okay. Any questions? Am I missing anything? No. EFK1 is the main regulatory step for glycolysis. Okay, yeah, I'm done.
Are you still having sessions for semester 1 on Fridays?
What did you say?